And then I said, do you know what, Nan, I want to move in with my mum because she had all these young lads coming because she was...
You by this time, you're a teenager, yeah, you're sort
14, I think, 14 years old, and she'd brought business to Buxton. So she had all these young lads, because like I've said on other podcasts, it seemed like all the...
Did she set up shop and...
Yeah. And it seemed like all the best looking lads were on substance. So I'm 14 and all these lads are coming around. I'm like, oh, it's more fun than being at my boring old grandma's. I'm going to move in with my mum. Well, worst decision I could have made because my life just deteriorated. I dropped out of school.
Drinking.
Started messing about with cider and bits of substance. I think a bit of like puff or whatever, right? And I dropped out of school and I had to go to a provisional college, for naughty kids. Even though I weren't naughty, I was a really good kid. But well, they didn't have anywhere to put me, so they stuck me in there. Anyway, I managed to get my grades back up to go back and do my GCSEs. I got a college course, a childcare college course, and I was a teaching assistant for adapted needs kids, right? And then bosh, I started to get prior to that, that's when I started to get groomed, right? I started going
what people don't understand, grooming, when people understand, what does grooming mean? Because some people don't understand what grooming means.
So grooming is just total gaslighting you, it is selling you a dream and delivering you a nightmare and just out and out lying to you, I can't explain it any more than that.
It's like when you say, and we're going to get into it, it's like so many children are groomed where it could be, what we're going to speak about.
Yeah.
But through like county lines and stuff like that and stuff,
lines,
it's now I think there's some kind of, there's charges now where you can bring, and this needs to be looked at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your story, what you're going to speak about now is where you were groomed from what, the age of 14, 15?
No, I was 16, so I wasn't as young as a lot now. A lot of these girls suffered way more than I did. So maybe that's why I'm here to tell my story, do you know what I mean? Well,
your story's fucking it's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy. It is heavy, but I still think there's a heavier, That's how I've just got over it. That's how I've got over it.
And it's coming to light now. It's coming to the surface.
It is.
And this is why we need to get this podcast out there, because what you're speaking about, and and thank you very much for coming on and sharing it. I've got to be honest. I know it's going to be hard to speak about it, and if you want to stop at any time, you can do.
Of course, no, I know.
So how did it all come about?
So me and a couple of my friends, we used to hang out in a pizza parlour called Spicy Kitchen. I'm going to name it because it was flagged up to the police on multiple occasions, which I've only just found this out, How bad is that? I thought I was the only girl in my town to be groomed at this pizza parlour for 20 years, and now I found out it's hundreds of girls, Tony. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so we started hanging about in this pizza parlour. There was a 15-year-old South Asian lad there, and he was same age as us, 15, 16, and we would get chatting with him and that, and we thought it was like new and different because
he'd speak to you and stuff.
Yeah, and he would tell us about his religion and living in Oldham. It was a totally different kettle of fish compared to what we were used to, So we found it kind of interesting, but then all of a sudden, after a few weeks, these older South Asian lads started turning up who could drive, who were kitted out in the jewellery and the tracksuits and whatnot. And he would come and he would just like, no one had, even though I knew my mum loved me, she didn't ever tell me she loved me, or she didn't really show me or hug me or anything. And he just came over. I must have had victim stamped on me, because he knew how to play me. And he would come and, play with my hair and touch my face. And he'd be like, oh, you're a little cutie, innit? And, just little things like that.
Things that you want to hear.
Things that I wanted to hear, yeah. And I took a real shine to him. I thought he wanted to be my boyfriend, you know what I mean?
You see, at that age, you don't understand, and like you say, you don't. So you were it's like you, what's the name later, aren't you?
Yeah, gaslighted completely, and it even makes me sad to this day because I did like him, It was like strange, isn't it? And so he lured me in and everything, and he was like, oh, do you want to come to Bradford? And I was like, Bradford's 2 hours away from Buxton.
That's what I was going to say. How far is it?
Yeah, 2 hours, Tony, yeah. And I said to my friends, should we go? And they were like, oh, they come from like a 2-parent household and a stable background. And they were like, no, Gemma, like that's dangerous. But I was like, well, I'm going to go, because I was like smitten with this lad. You know what I mean? I say lad, he was like in his mid-20s to late 20s.
He was an adult?
Yeah, he was an adult and I was 16. And then he just started taking me to Bradford. 2 hours there, 2 hours. 2 hours to pick me up, 2 hours to get me there, 2 hours to take me home. It's like who does that? for a 16-year-old girl, you know what I mean? But this is what they're doing, these groomers. And then he would take me to HMV. I remember he bought me an Eternal CD and I was absolutely buzzing, do you know what I mean? Nobody had ever bought me anything. He took me to McDonald's, you know, all these other little shops, but then it started to turn, and this went on for a few weeks, and then he started taking me to trap houses. And then I saw him dropping off big loads of stuff, substance, and I thought, oh, okay, he's not the little cute guy I thought he was. This is serious. And then even the women that he was dropping the substance off were kind of complicit in it. She was like talking to me like she was a little friend, you know what I mean? Like I was her friend and stuff, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm really accepted here. And then one night, and I'll kick myself, right? He said, I'm going to bring a mate. I'm going to pick up a mate from Bradford, and we're going to go up to Buxton. You're going to bring a mate out with us, right? So I stupidly rang my friend and said, do you want to come out for a drive? Yeah. She's come out, got in the car, and he goes, do you want some alcohol? So we were like, oh, yeah, okay. But we ended up just getting some, like, packet. Do you remember them sidekick shots or whatever? But he couldn't buy it because, obviously, his religion. So we've had to wait outside Bargain Booze, get a white English guy to buy it. He just thought we were two kids that wanted a bit of alcohol. So he shouldn't have bought it us either. But you know what? You know what it's like. It's like. So he's got us some alcohol. We've gone, he's drove us down to his car park. We've necked these shots and whatnot. And his friend grabbed my mate and just said, oh, we're just going to go out. And I already thought this is a bad situation because
you
now
could sense something was not right.
This is she's not in my view. I don't know where she is. And he goes to me, now, you know, all these gifts, they ain't for free. You know that, don't you? And he was like, wanted an intimacy act. Yeah. So I've had to do that knowing full well my mate is probably
having the same situation.
Yeah, but I think he fully SA'd her. Yeah. So I'll always regret that. So I knew when they got back, she was shaken up, and I thought, I've got to get her to safety, because he was like, let's carry and drive around some more, because that probably wouldn't have been the last time. Well, I'm going to go into it. So I said, no, let's get my friend home, because it'll bring us on top, because she needs to be home at a certain time, because I thought I need to get her to safety. So we've dropped her off. She's gone home, and then he goes, oh, I want to like come into your house and meet your mum. So I've now took these two South Asian guys into my mum's house. He has passed me on to his friend, let his friend take me upstairs. He's gone to my mum. My friend is going to take your daughter upstairs, yeah? My mum had just had her head kicked in, nearly got unalived by my stepdad. I got him sent to prison for it. And so she was suffering from PTSD. Two big South Asian lads in her house, you know what I mean? And she always raised me, if it's easier to go with it, go with it. And I know that's really bad, but she grew up in gangland territory and she knew it could be a possibility that would happen to us. So she always raised us as if you're going to get SA, just go with it if it's safer, right? And it's mad, but that's how we grew up. Anyway, so I was gutted. He just passed me on to his friend. I thought he was like my boyfriend. You know what I mean?
You were seeing a different side of it, and then it's just like, there you go.
There you go, yeah. So then while I was upstairs getting SA'd by his mate, right, because his mate SA'd me, so he's SA'd my mate on the same night as he's SA'd me, yeah. And when I was upstairs, he'd give my mum some substance, asking her, is it good, and
testing
all that.
And all
testing her, because he already said, because she opened up to me and said, he asked me, you know what my mate's doing with your daughter up there, don't you? So she obviously just had to nod. What more can you do? So he was testing how, you know, who's in the house, how's this going to go down? Am I an easy target? So then we've got them out the house, and he said to my mum, there's more where that come from if you let us, you know, take your daughter and whatnot. Anyway, we've got them out the house. She goes, Gemma, you need to get out. They're grooming me and they're grooming you. You need to get out. And I was like, I know, Mum, I can handle it. I'll sort it out. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, no more after that. Once he made me do that, Tony, I said no more. That was it. I've managed to break free. And in the process of breaking free, I got with this older lad who should have known better. He was 27 and I was 16. So again, now I remember sitting in his house, and this guy was, because they use nicknames, these guys, you don't know the real names, you only know them by the nicknames. Anyway, this lad, he's rang me up, he goes, I want to pick you up, why aren't you answering my calls, I need to pick you up. But he could see, my boyfriend could see that I was shaking on the stairs. He's got on the phone, told this South Asian lad, you ain't coming up here no more, you leave my missus alone. So luckily, I had a few more texts after that.
Yeah.
But it was all done, Tony, all done and dusted.
Had you told your boyfriend about this previously?
Yeah. He knew, he knew.
And what was his reaction, you know what I mean? Was he...
Yeah, he said, do not go near him, don't go near him. He said, do not go near him at all. He said...
Has the police ever spoke about or not?
No, because...
Because situations and stuff like that were your mum and what they were up to and stuff like that.
Just that, but because I felt I'd put myself in that position, I thought, I've brought it on myself. That's what I thought.
Is that what you genuinely thought?
That's what my mindset, that's my mindset. Yeah. So all that went on, and then 6 months later, and I'd just turned 17 I've been 17 for a while, I was at a party with friends. I've left this party and I thought, right, I'm going to go to my grandma's because my grandma's was over the road and my mum's was quite far, and I was like, had a couple of drinks and whatnot. So I thought, right, I'm going to go. Anyway, so I've gone, and then just out of nowhere, this guy has just grabbed me by the thing of my neck, and I thought it was a prank, right? I thought, it's got to be a prank. This doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Anyway, another guy's come, they've dragged me, and I thought, I'm going back to the bedsit because they were dragging me back over the road. So that's why I thought it was a prank, Tony, right? Anyway, sorry.
It's okay, love.
They've dragged me into this bedsit. They've took me up these stairs, right? It's like 2 flights of stairs. They've took me in this tiny room. And then there was an adjoining room on these bedsits. You know what bedsits are like. And they've just grabbed me. 2 of them have grabbed me, and then there's more men coming. They're all talking in the mother tongue. I couldn't tell a word they were saying, right? And they've just gone. I can't go into it too much.
No, you don't.
They've just gone one after the other, just penetrated me.
Yeah. You're all right.
Yeah, sorry, but I just...
No, listen, love, I know.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to... It was the smell, the voices, and, there was just... It was...
Horrific. I can't imagine it.
To be taken.
To be abducted off the street. To be abducted off the street.
Sorry, I was trying to be strong.
No, you listen, Gemma, don't be stupid, love. Don't be stupid. Listen, you've got to, you know what? Don't be stupid. This is like I say, and you're saying this is, yours isn't serious as what others and stuff. Listen, any essay that goes on out there, especially what we're talking about, and it's out there now when people are starting to come out and speak. Yeah. And you are one strong individual who are helping people and sitting in silence.
That's it. And I think what it is, Tony, is I minimise it. Because I've always felt like bottom of the barrel, like I was just nothing,
You're not bottom of the barrel. You're not bottom of the barrel. And you need to understand that.
Yeah.
I know listen, you've got to understand by coming here and speaking to us and speaking so openly about it, because you want to raise awareness, because it's out there, Gemma.
Yeah, it is.
It's out there, and people think people being silenced all the time. Yeah. Lucky enough, you're still here, where some people
aren't. I've got an inbox full of women that've lost sisters.
This is what I mean. It's absolutely traumatic, and I'm for you to speak out and to raise awareness, and I just find you such an inspirational, strong woman.
Oh, thank you.
You know what you're doing, and you're trying to help other women, and so if we want to move on, because I think that's just like
No, because it's important. I say it all because the trial and everything, it all comes into play, Tony. So I've gone home. I don't even know. Well, they've marched me down the stairs. Let's just go through it all so people know the details. They've let me get dressed. I thought they were going to kill me, right? They've thrown my clothes at me. They've let me get dressed. Then they've marched me down the stairs, right? And then another guy from the bedsits has come out.
Because he's heard the commotion.
And I don't, would he have screamed? I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. And then they've marched me out the door. They've pushed me out the door, and I don't care because I'm free, right? So I've gone down these little cobble path and these stairs, and I've just started to walk really fast. And the next thing I know, he's come up again, the main guy in a car again, just revving up, and he's going, get in, because obviously they've seen I'm traumatised. They knew that lad had seen me, so it would have been easy for them to unalive me, So I think that's what they were going to do. So I thought, this is my only chance, so I've just started running and screaming as loud as I could and just running. Anyway, he's gone. He's just gone boom, off. I've managed to get home, right? I've took all my clothes off. Luckily, I didn't put them in the wash. Put them in the bathroom on the floor. I've got in the shower and I just showered myself. I thought, just go to bed, Gemma. It doesn't matter, just go to bed. I've gone to bed, I've got up, and it was just my mum's face, you know. I know everybody's blaming her for having those South Asian lads in the house and taking substance off her, but she was petrified, Tony, do you know what I mean? But she was a rock to me, and she goes, sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry.
And she said, what's happened to you, Gemma? You're not yourself. And I said, I've been SA'd, and she goes, by you? And I said, I don't know, Mum. She was like, bang, right, let's get the police on the phone, right? Sorry.
No.
The police have come and they've interrogated me, not one time, Tony, but like 3 times. You know what it's like when you're an SA victim. You get interrogated as though it's your fault, you know, and I understand it because there are girls that lie. I know there's a small portion of girls that tell fibs. I know that. And then they've gone to the bed sits, and these guys have all absconded. So that's your evidence right there. That was the evidence. They've gone. What more do you want, you know? And so that's all happened. It was a big investigation. They've put these guys, because I've gone for a test. The gynaecologist was male. So to add insult to injury, I've got a male gynaecologist doing my tests.
You would think it would be a female, obviously,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. But so that's something that needs to change. So just the relief, like I could just feel the relief now of having, you know, the police come out to me now. And so they've done the test. They found multiple DNA. You know what it's like. I think one of them bothered to use something. So when they went and did the forensics, there was something in the bin as well. They've put them on Crime Watch because they couldn't find them. Some of them
they have faces of them and stuff like that?
A couple of them did. So some of them had a database. Some of them were legal. I think they were all legal. I don't know. I've never really looked into that. Some of them had a database, so they put their pictures, you know, on Crime Watch. It used to be Crime Watch back in the day. I don't know if that's still a thing. So they did that, and then luckily the members of the public in London grassed them in. So that was, you know, good of them. They said, yeah, he's working here, or yeah, he lives here. So they got, honestly, I've blacked it out and I can't remember if they got all of them, but I think they got the majority of them to go to trial. So
were they all denying it?
All denying it. There was even a letter.
Even with the DNA and stuff?
Yeah, so these guys were Middle Eastern. And there was a letter written to one of his parents in the Middle East saying, not enough to incriminate himself, but there was, if you know what I mean. There was enough, but he was saying we need money for like the top barrister or whatever, right? So that was a thing. They had there was my clothes, there was DNA, there was the fact that he'd absconded. There was so much evidence against him.
What about the gentleman in the what's his name?
Yeah, him. He was there. He came to my court case. They got my friends that I was at the party with to make sure that I wasn't incapacitated. You know, that I'd left and walked and
you wasn't drunk.
Really drunk. So I had so much
on your side,
on my side, but. As I walked into the jury was made up of ethnic minority backgrounds. I think there was one white English guy on there. Sorry, my contact lens coming out. There was one white English guy on there, but the rest were... So all I looked like was a little white girl telling nasty lies about all these brown men, you know. That's how it felt to me. So it went on for, I think it was 2 weeks, the trial, right? And... all not guilty, all said I agreed to it. So that's how they got away with it. They said I agreed to it.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you like what you see, click the link to watch the full episode and don't forget to subscribe.